Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, right here to Let's Talk Energy, Power on Large Scale. We are into sustainability as a principle for all aspects of business and beyond. That's what we're going to discuss in the next 30 minutes. And I would like to introduce my two interview partners to you. Here is the Corporate Sustainability Manager at SMA, Matthias Schepers. Welcome.
Hello, great pleasure to be here today.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do at SMA?
Okay, yeah, I'm the Corporate Sustainability Manager at SMA, and one of my big tasks is to develop a strategy for our sustainability management, to define measures and measurements, and a special focus on energy and environmental aspects, also mobility. And I'm here since 2008 at SMA, started as an architect, and since 2012 I'm working in the sustainability department.
Now, Matthias, you didn't come on your own. You brought somebody with you. Our second interview partner in the session is Castro, and you're a student, is the information I received, but there's more to it than that. Can you explain a little bit about what you do at SMA?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thanks for having me here. And I started here at SMA doing my internship for 3 months, and then I keep working, writing my master thesis, which has this topic of the circular economy. And then at the end, we were like, Matthias and I, we were like so interested in the topic, so I decided to stay here a little bit more and work in this topic of circular economy and sustainability at SMA.
We're going to talk about your fascinating master thesis just a little bit later, but let's start with the overall subject of sustainability. And I'd like to start with you, Matthias. Now, it seems to be that it's a trend right now. A lot of companies say, jump on the sustainability bandwagon, let's put it like that. What are your thoughts on them jumping ship, so to say?
Yeah, it's definitely a trend, and it's a positive trend, and we have to change things in our life. So, because we need more resources than our Earth can handle with. And if we think about if every people in the world would live as we live here in Germany or in Europe, we need more than 3 Earths. And thus, we live at the expense of the next generation. And so it's also not surprising that the next generation is demanding that what sustainability really means, generational equity. And for companies, that means they have to handle with their resources in a more efficient and more sustainable way, use more renewable energies to maintain our standard of living. And what's also important is for companies, sustainability changed for, let me say, nice to have to a need to have or must have. And but unfortunately, there are several companies, they only seem to be sustainable and use it for PR and look good in the public.
You're not going to name names now, are you?
No.
Okay, so let's get to sustainability at SMA specifically. What does sustainability mean for SMA?
So at SMA, sustainability played a big role, and even since the foundation and the founders also recognized this topic and said that is a very, very important topic. And I'm convinced that we have to implement sustainability in our company strategy. And so SMA did. So from the beginning, we combined economic success with environmental and social aspects. So that was very important for us, and I think our employees also identify with this philosophy. And this can't be dictated from the management. Yeah, it has something to do with intrinsic motivation.
Is there examples you can give to us? Because sustainability, sometimes it's a little bit like sand, it sort of runs through your fingers, but can you give us some specific examples of how this is implemented here at SMA?
Yeah, I will do it more in a general way. So for our sustainability performance, we define 4 main action fields. The first is named processes and products. The second one relates to the environment and energy. The third one is named employees, and the fourth is about social responsibility.
Andres, would you agree, yeah, with the 4 pillars? Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think this is a really important point because companies has also to focus in their main business field. So this is the case of SMA, where they are also focusing in energy and environment. And that was one of the reasons because SMA developed some measurements and some targets to fight against climate change and also to increase the use of renewable energies worldwide. That is pretty huge and also was one of these points to create this climate roadmap, which the main target is to become CO2 neutral, but it's not just being CO2 neutral, it's also to be sure that the energy that cannot be produced here at SMA also come from these regional, decentralized, regional, and of course renewable sources. And the first step of this was that actually the facilities and the infrastructure of SMA comes with these photovoltaic solar panels. And then the next step was this CO2 neutral inverter factory. It's the first worldwide CO2 neutral inverter factory in the world. We have also our Solar Academy building, and the next step was this next inverter factory, which is part of this huge industrial park here in Germany, which is nearly powered by 100% renewable energy. So there is really the big steps, and of course at the company we also had this energy management strategy, which is really exemplary for this.
Now, you just mentioned the Solar Academy, a truly fascinating building. And we have a video, or you brought us a video, which we're very happy, from over there at the Solar Academy. That's where Tilman was, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about that building right now.
Welcome to the Günther Kramer Solar Academy, SMA's training center. The Günther Kramer Solar Academy is a light tower project of SMA's vision for a sustainable future powered completely by renewable energy. And the building itself runs 100% on renewable energy. The main power source is the solar modules on the roof and in the facade. And the Sunny Boy inverters that you see behind me, installed 10 years ago during the construction of the buildings, they do the conversion of the energy and provide it into the building's energy system. And this is where things get really interesting, because the Solar Academy is not connected to the public utility grid. It is an off-grid building that has its own power grid built by the Sunny Island inverters that you see behind me. The Sunny Islands take the energy, the solar power from the Sunny Boy inverters. They supply the loads within the building. They store excess energy in a battery. When additional power is required, they take it from the battery or automatically switch on an additional power source. In the case of this building, the additional power source would be a combined heat and power plant running on biogas. The Solar Academy itself has proven that as a training center for up to 2,500 training attendees that come here every year to learn and experience this in a building not connected to the public grid, and that without any loss of convenience. Obviously, this is not the only lighthouse project at SMA. This is just one step within our sustainability and climate strategy. It is one milestone there. Other milestones are, for example, our carbon neutral production facilities that have also been partly inspired by the learnings we had from this building here. Come here, join us in the Solar Academy. We want to empower you as our partner to help us bring about this vision of a sustainable future powered by renewables. Thank you.
And the Solar Academy is, of course, where there are the training sessions and also webinars. Maybe some of you know it already personally through having been there. What a great video from Tilman. Now, Matthias, let me ask you this. The technology that is used here at SMA to produce, or the technology developed and sold by SMA, let's put it this way, is used to produce solar energy. Doesn't that alone make you sustainable already?
Yeah, it's not the first time I hear this question, and to be honest, it feels really good to work in the PV industry, and it's motivating for me. And to increase the use of renewable energies or be part of a sustainable future. And I think our customers feel the same. But to develop solutions for sustainable energy supply doesn't mean that the company for itself act in a sustainable way. So very important is if a company acts in a sustainable way, it has to act in balance between economic, ecologic, and social aspects. And I think there's sometimes the next misunderstanding, because a lot of people think sustainability means only environmental protection or social responsibility. But I think no matter could be sustainable if it isn't cost effective and economically viable for the company and also for the customer. And the second important thing is, you can see this also here in this circle, don't concentrate only on your company level. Sustainability has to be implemented across the whole value chain.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the value chain, Andres?
Sure, and the value chain is a really important topic. There we have to start from the beginning for raw materials and minerals. We have to check there some aspects as are the environmental impact and human rights issues. Then we go through the supply chain and the manufacture of our products. There the quality plays a really important role. And also one point that is sometimes really overseen for many persons and stakeholders is the end of use and end of life of our products. And this is really important because there we have a huge challenge that is recovering this value of those materials. And that is why SMA also decided to carry out some life cycle assessments and to really understand where are those environmental impacts in the products. We have in this slide, we have one nice example of this, is the category greenhouse emission potential. And actually the results were really interesting for us, and I think Matthias can tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah, with very interesting results there. We found out that SMA is responsible only for approximately 1 to 3% of the CO2 emissions within the product. And it was very interesting for us. And the biggest impacts are coming from the supply chain. Mm-hmm. And one reason for that is that SMA is producing nearly CO2 neutral. Based on this results of the life cycle assessment, we decided that we want to foster our engagement at the beginning, at the development of the products. And so the result was a guideline for sustainable product design.
But how do you manage and how do you secure sustainability on a company level and also on a product level?
First of all, we have to mention what is the really special in our sustainability strategy. Mm-hmm. And we decided that we want to distinguish between the key drivers on the company level and on the product level. And therefore, we have created 2 key performance indicator which helps us to measure our success in our sustainability strategy. And we are quite proud about this because now we were able to set us ambitious and also realistic goals, and we can report in a transparent way about them. And the big heading for that is we want to create more value and with less resources. For that, we created performance indicators based on results of stakeholder analysis and other results from our life cycle assessments. And as you can see here on the picture or on the slide, there are indicators we want to increase and others we want to reduce. And the gap between these 2 stands for our holistic sustainability performance, in this case for the company performance. And let's have a quick view on our main drivers for sustainability in the company. There is first the corporate citizenship, which is an indicator for our social responsibility aspects in the company. Then the sustainable supply chain, where we measure the sustainability performance of our main suppliers. Next, the profitability, which is an indicator for economic success. And the next, the quality, one of our main drivers for sustainability. And on the other hand, under the red arrow, the indicators we want to reduce. First of all, the material use, which is an important indicator for resource efficiency. The next is the part of the CO2 emissions, our footprint here at SMA and the company. The third one is about waste, so the amount of waste within our production. And last but not least, the illness rate or accidents frequency, which is an indicator for our health and safety point.
So that was the company KPI. Let's move on to the product KPI. Andres, can you tell us something about that?
Yeah, sure. And I think with this product is where SMA makes also this big difference with other companies. And there we can see that although it works at a similar way as is the company one, here we have this big relation with the circular economy. So we want to increase the use of renewable energies, but not just in the production, but from the cradle to grave in our products, so all over the value chain. We also have design for recycling, which is a big part of the circular economy, is how can we increase the recyclability of our products and materials. We have preferable materials. There we can talk about these environmental friendly materials, but also from the secondary materials and the quality, which already was in the company KPI, but it's also relevant and important here because it stands for durability and the durability of our products. And then we have the ones that we want to reduce. We want to reduce, of course, the CO2 footprint of our products. We want to reduce this relation with the material that we are using and the performance of our products. We also have this wastage in production and also the non-preferable materials. And this one is really important because there are differentiated between three categories. The first one is those normative regulated materials. Then we have the materials which have some relation with security supply issues. It's a really trendy topic now. And then we have those bad reputation materials which can be a risk for the company in terms of image and reputation.
Let me switch the view again. We go from the product and company side back to the consumer. So why should the consumer choose sustainable products? Obviously good conscience for sure, but are there any other benefits? And do they have to pay extra for this good conscience?
Yeah, there are a lot of benefits for our customers, but we want to focus on four main benefits in that. And there is first the high quality and longevity of our products. And we put special emphasis on the longevity of our products, even under the harshest conditions. And this saves our customers money. But there is another benefit for the environment, because if you can use a product or inverter even 2 times longer, then you need only half of the resources. The second benefit is relating to service and repairability. And this is also an aspect which is discussed also in politics, a mandatory repairability. And in my point of view, electronic devices are too valuable as to be thrown away as soon as a failure occurs. And so to minimize the chance of failures, SMA has developed solutions to make service easier. And the third benefit is social and environmental responsibility. And I think investors' requirements are increasing rapidly in this topic. But investors don't even put out their money out of projects which are adapted to fossil fuels and put it more in renewable energies. They focus even on companies and projects which are really sustainable. And also legal requirements depending to sustainability are also rising. And the fourth aspect and the most comprehensive one is the circular economy. And so I would like to ask you a short question,
Okay, sure,
so
I'm ready.
So what do you think, who is the only one on Earth who handles or cares, who acts in a linear and not in a circular way?
In a linear and not in a circular way.
In a linear and not in a circular.
Okay, well, that would have to be us humans, I would suppose, no?
Yes, of course. Yeah, the human beings.
Human species.
Yeah. We're the only one. We put things out of the nature, we change them, we use them, and then we throw them away. And so I think it's one of the biggest challenges for the whole society and also for the industry and also for us. And so we decided here at SMA that we have to create a strategy for a circular economy. And this was one of the main topics of Andres' master thesis. So I would hand over to you.
Take it away, Andres.
Wow, a big responsibility. But yeah, actually Matthias and I, we were working in this master thesis for 6 months, and we came with this strategy which is focusing materials and components of our inverters, and we developed this specific strategy which is focusing design for recycling, preferable materials, and non-preferable materials. And now with those results and with this systematic, we are able to describe and also evaluate our materials. And now we can make better decisions about them, but also we can measure the sustainability of our materials and our products, of course. So that was huge. That was thanks for 15 different assessment factors that we also formulate together under the circular economy principles. And the best part is that it doesn't cost anything for consumers or for investors. Actually, they are getting a product that they can rely that is a sustainable product and also is fulfilling all these legal requirements.
So it's great, of course, if you can make better and educated decisions, but what about the consumers? If they would like to know for sure and differentiate, be able to decide whether a solar company and the products that the solar company makes is sustainable. Can you give us a couple of indicators to really be able to tell, yes, they're sustainable and it's not just written outside on the package?
Yeah, it's a very big point, and it's very difficult to distinguish between companies which act really sustainable and others who only seems to be sustainable. So how could you recognize this? So first of all, you have to look strictly to the disclosure of the company. On the company report, or even there is a sustainability report. And the first recommendation is, could you find the main indicators of sustainability in there? And are these indicators also found across the whole value chain? And maybe there are also set ambitious and realistic goals on that. The second recommendation is, does the company report in a transparent way? Then only then you can trust the seriousness. And so are there international standards like the Global Reporting Initiative or the Sustainable Development Goals? And even then, if you see that this is used or placed, and then you can really compare these companies. And the third recommendation is, that I've forgotten this.
I guess it is the eco label and
It's the
sorry,
international-
it's related to the product. So that's also a very different aspect. How can you recognize which product is really the most sustainable one? And so we want to support the aspect of the EU, that they want to create an eco-design and eco-label for PV plants, and it's still on work, and I think we can expect in 2 or 3 years the result, and after that, the customer is able to compare each product category and also each company. Yeah.
And then it's easier for me to distinguish.
Absolutely.
Problem being, I still have to wait 2 or 3 years, so maybe we can speed that process
that's the problem.
up a little bit. Okay, so we've got 4.5 minutes left. If it's okay with you, I would say we switch over to our Q&A session right now. Welcome back to our Q&A session right here at Let's Talk Energy Power on a Large Scale. Let's take a look at what questions came in for the two of you. And here they are. Oh, there's quite a few questions. Okay, so our viewers out there would like to know, what is the average energy payback for SMA inverters?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of the main interesting questions for every stakeholder, even for us. And the answer is a very bit difficult because first of all, we have cooperated with the Fraunhofer Institute and also with the Umweltbundesamt in this case, and we worked on life cycle assessment for each category of our inverters and for PV plants to find out what is the energy payback time and also the footprint of PV plants. And we have to handle with care with the results because first of all, they are not published yet. And the other thing is how to handle with care or why we have to handle with care, because there are several aspects we have to mention. So it depends on in which region the PV plant is placed. And also another aspect is a very important aspect, what kind of module is used. But the question is an average, and we could say the energy payback time is 1 year for a PV plant, only 1 year. Mm-hmm. So, and the part of the inverters within a life cycle assessment is about 10 to 50%. So, the energy payback time for an inverter is 1.5 months.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. Absolutely, because sometimes you find informations in the social medias, and there are informations about 10 years, 5 years, or even longer. And so that's, for us, not surprising, but that's a very good aspect.
They need to call you to get the facts. So time is sort of running out. So a quick question for Andres. Your thesis, is it public, and can we look at it and read it somewhere?
Oh, there is a nice question. I mean, the results are for sure coming to this sustainable report at SMA. Mm-hmm. I guess will be next year, but we have some examples right now in our actual currently sustainability report. And here at SMA, we have all the results. But I guess that will be a matter that we have to discuss also if it is available on the website.
Okay.
Because I know currently it's not on the website, but it's for sure at SMA.
Okay. Maybe it's going to be on the website soon at some point. Maybe people need to check back or something, yeah?
But you can find results because some of them we put in our guideline for a sustainable product.
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So that means I will not be able to read the results ever, or when can I read your thesis to answer the question?
I mean, yes, you can read it because it's a public document, and we are also implementing this at SMA with these guidelines for products. So with the main results, we are also developing these guidelines that is actually made for our developers and from people here at SMA, but also it's a document where you can consult this information.
We have 16 seconds for the next question, Matthias. I don't know if you can answer that, but maybe it could be a yes or no answer. Could you explain the LCA advantages of large-scale solutions inverters compared to small-scale? There's lots of advantages.
Yeah, absolute. But the short answer is the larger, the better.
The larger, the better. That's a fantastic closing word. So with this, I would like to thank you so much, Matthias, Andres. Thank you for being here, for bringing in the world of sustainability a little bit closer to us. Thank you so much.
Thanks.